Have you ever shared something from the depths of your heart, only to wish you could reclaim the silence that followed? As we journey through life, we learn that some thoughts are best kept as our own, not from a desire for secrecy, but as a quiet act of preserving our peace and dignity. Today, we will explore 5 areas of life where a gentle silence can be a profound gift to ourselves and our families. This is not about hiding who we are, but about cultivating a life of inner contentment and mutual respect. These insights may just transform the way you connect with those you love. If you find this journey meaningful, your support of Candle of Wisdom helps us share these vital lessons with a wider community. Now let us begin and uncover the wisdom of what is best left unsaid. The first secret: your past mistakes. As we grow older, there is a natural desire to share the story of our lives, the triumphs, the struggles, and the lessons learned. But when it comes to the mistakes that shaped us, sometimes the most powerful choice is silence. This isn't about shame, it's about preserving the peace, both within ourselves and within our family. Consider the story of Mr. Lawrence, a retired craftsman. Years ago, a misplaced trust in a business partner led to a devastating financial loss, a setback that took him years to overcome. Believing the tale would teach his granddaughter a valuable lesson about caution, he shared it with her one afternoon. He was met not with understanding, but with a look of deep concern, tinged with a pity that unsettled him. Her reaction, though well-intentioned, left him feeling exposed and, to his surprise, regretful. In that moment, Mr. Lawrence realized that not every scar needs to be shown. Our families often look to us as pillars of strength, and revealing certain vulnerabilities can become a burden for them to carry. They don't just hear the lesson, they see the person behind it differently, in a way we never intended. What we see as a moment of growth, they may see as a cautionary tale that colors their perception of us. When we choose to hold these difficult experiences within, they become private monuments to our own resilience. They guide us from the inside, informing how we support our family without needing to recount every painful detail. Our loved ones can benefit from our wisdom without knowing the full weight of the story. A simple phrase like, "I learned the value of trust the hard way," can convey the lesson without reopening an old wound. There is a powerful freedom in this discretion. By choosing which chapters of our past remain private, we sidestep the risk of misinterpretation or pity. We allow ourselves to be seen as the person we are today, not as a collection of past regrets. Our family sees not our failures, but our resilience, a quiet strength that continues to grow and find peace with life's unpredictable turns. This quiet wisdom becomes a legacy of strength, not of sorrow. The second secret: your minor health concerns. With age comes a heightened awareness of our bodies, the subtle aches, the restless nights. But to voice every small discomfort to our family can often sow more anxiety than comfort. This isn't because they don't care. It is precisely because they care so deeply that keeping minor concerns to ourselves can maintain a positive and peaceful atmosphere. Think of Mrs. Eleanor, a retired teacher in her 70s. She felt the daily reminders of a long and active life in her joints. One morning, she casually mentioned her sore knees to her daughter. Immediately, her daughter was online, reciting lists of remedies, knee braces, and special diets. Mrs. Eleanor appreciated the love behind the gesture, but she felt overwhelmed, her daughter's worry making her feel more fragile than she was. She soon noticed that her daily complaints led her family to treat her with a cautiousness that chipped away at her sense of independence. So, she made a quiet change. She began to focus her conversations on what brought her joy. Instead of mentioning her needs, she would talk about the beauty of her morning walk or the pleasure of a good book. Gradually, the dynamic shifted. Her family began to see her not as a collection of ailments, but as the vibrant, resilient woman she had always been. This simple shift restored her peace and eased her family's minds, allowing them to simply enjoy her presence. There is a profound wisdom in sharing only what is essential. Minor pains and passing colds are a natural part of life, and we often have the strength to manage them without inviting others into our worry. By focusing our conversations on the positive, we lift the emotional tone for everyone. This isn't about denial, it's about choosing where to place the focus. When you do share a concern, it will carry more weight because it stands out against a backdrop of resilience. When you are with your family, speak of what makes you smile. Share the moments that fill your day with light. This creates an atmosphere of positivity, reminding your loved ones and yourself that you are so much more than any physical challenge. As Mrs. Eleanor discovered, this approach doesn't ignore the realities of aging. It frames them in strength. In the end, choosing what to share about our health is an act of love. It builds a legacy of optimism that will be the example your family cherishes and remembers. The third secret, your unfulfilled dreams. Over the years, we all collect dreams that remain tucked away in the quiet corners of our hearts. A journey not taken, a talent not pursued, a path left unexplored. While these dreams are a precious part of who we are, sharing them can sometimes create a bittersweet distance with the ones we love. Consider Mr. James, a retired mechanic who had always dreamed of being a musician. In his youth, he saved for a guitar and taught himself to play. But life, as it often does, steered him in a different direction. He married, raised a family, and built a good life. Now, in his 70s, he shared this long-held dream with his grandson, hoping to connect over a shared passion. But his grandson's response was uncertain. He saw his grandfather as a content and fulfilled man, and this mention of an unachieved dream stirred a confusing mix of pity and guilt in him. Mr. James realized that some dreams are best held close, like a private melody only we can hear. His story was not one of sadness, but of the beautiful life he built instead, the family he cherished, the laughter he created. He began to share stories not of what could have been, but of all that was. Keeping certain dreams private allows them to remain a gentle source of personal inspiration without shifting the focus to regret. Our loved ones, especially younger generations, may not understand the complex tapestry of our choices. They may feel a sense of sorrow for us, or even feel responsible, not realizing these dreams are simply part of our story, not the whole of it. By holding them within, we are free to share the wisdom gained along the journey, rather than dwelling on the destinations we never reached. When family sees us embracing the present with gratitude, their respect for us deepens. Unspoken dreams add a quiet beauty to our character. They are reminders that while we did not achieve everything we set out to, we found profound meaning in the life we lived. So the next time you reflect on those unfulfilled dreams, cherish them for yourself. Let them be a testament to the journey you have walked and the love you have given. In doing so, you will inspire your family to embrace their own paths with grace, knowing that life's greatest gifts are often found not in the dreams we chase, but in the love we share along the way. The fourth secret, your disappointments with family. As we watch our loved ones navigate their own lives, it is natural to have hopes for them, to wish for them choices that align with our own values. However, expressing disappointment in their decisions, no matter how gently, can often do more harm than good. Choosing to hold these feelings in quiet counsel can preserve the harmony of a family and ultimately strengthen its bonds. Take the case of Mrs. Amelia, a retired librarian. She was immensely proud of her children, but she held a quiet disappointment that her daughter had not chosen a stable career like her own. Her daughter had instead poured her heart into a small business, a passion filled with financial risk. Weighed down by worry, Mrs. Amelia finally voiced her concerns, suggesting a more reliable job might be a wiser path. Though spoken from a place of love, her words landed as a vote of no confidence. Her daughter heard not care, but doubt. Realizing her misstep, Mrs. Amelia changed her approach. She decided to offer her support without judgment, to be a source of encouragement rather than criticism. Over time, their conversations opened up. Her daughter felt safe to share both her triumphs and her struggles, knowing she would be met with love. Mrs. Amelia's quiet support allowed their relationship to blossom, built on a foundation of acceptance. There is deep wisdom in choosing encouragement over criticism. Our words, intended as guidance, can feel like judgment, creating a distance between us. By offering quiet, unconditional support, we give our loved ones the freedom to forge their own path, secure in our love. This doesn't mean we must agree with every choice they make. It means we choose to trust them with their own lives. This silent support speaks volumes. It creates an environment where family members feel seen, respected, and free from the pressure of meeting our expectations. When we feel disappointment, it is often a reflection of our own fears and experiences. Recognizing this allows us to separate our story from theirs and to love them for who they are, not who we hoped they would be. Ultimately, our loved ones will not remember every piece of advice we gave, but they will never forget how we made them feel. By choosing support over criticism, we leave a legacy of understanding and respect, a gift of acceptance that will strengthen your family for generations to come. The fifth secret: your personal plans for your assets. When it comes to our financial legacy, it can be tempting to share the details with our family. We want them to feel secure, to know that we have planned for their future. And yet, sharing too much, too soon, can unintentionally introduce tension and discord. Keeping these plans private until the time is right can be an act of profound care, preserving harmony by keeping the focus on relationships, not resources. Consider the story of Mr. Roberts, a retired banker who had worked diligently to build a modest estate. Eager to provide his two sons with a sense of security, he outlined his intentions for how his assets would be divided. At first, his sons were appreciative, but soon subtle shifts began to occur. Questions arose about investments. Gentle suggestions were made about how the estate might be managed differently. Mr. Roberts found his private decisions had become a topic of open debate, creating a tension that had not existed before. He realized then that by opening the door to this conversation too early, he had inadvertently shifted the focus from family to finance. He decided to finalize his plans quietly, with a trusted advisor. Instead of discussing inheritance, he focused on creating memories with his sons, free from the shadow of future wealth. This restored his own peace of mind and allowed his sons to see him simply as their father, not as the steward of their inheritance. Keeping these matters private is not a sign of mistrust. It is a recognition that conversations about money can complicate the pure, unconditional love that binds a family. When we hold these plans in confidence, we allow our time together to be about connection and shared experience. This approach also prevents misunderstandings. Each family member has different needs and perspectives, and premature discussions can lead to assumptions and hurt feelings when expectations are not met. Instead of discussing your estate, consider sharing your wisdom. Mr. Roberts began teaching his sons practical financial skills, budgeting, saving, investing, empowering them to build their own futures. He was contributing to their well-being in a way that was immediate and lasting, without making his own assets the centerpiece of their relationship. Ultimately, keeping your financial plans private grants you the freedom to make thoughtful, unpressured decisions that align with your deepest values. When the time comes for these plans to be known, they will be received as a carefully considered gift, not as the result of a long negotiation. By focusing on the wealth of love and connection you share today, you protect the most valuable inheritance of all, a family united in respect, gratitude, and peace. This is not an act of secrecy, but a profound choice to put love and connection first. By cherishing the time you spend together, you forge memories that will far outlast any inheritance. In the end, family is infinitely more than an asset list or a will. It is a living foundation built on love, respect, and trust. By keeping personal plans for your assets private until the time is right, you protect that very foundation, allowing your loved ones to see you for who you truly are, a guiding presence and a source of strength. Through this, you leave behind a legacy that transcends material wealth, one that resonates with the values you've lived by and the relationships you've nurtured over a lifetime. As we journey through life, we learn that some things are best held close to the heart. Choosing what to share and what to keep private is not about hiding. It is about fostering peace, protecting our well-being, and preserving the powerful connections within our families. These insights remind us that a life of resilience, self-respect, and love is built upon a series of mindful choices. If this video has offered you valuable lessons, we invite you to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to Candle of Wisdom. Your support helps us to continue bringing practical advice and timeless wisdom for a more fulfilling, balanced life. We would love to hear from you, so please let us know in the comments how these insights resonate with your own journey. Let's continue to grow together, focusing on the values that truly matter.